Hello!
Hello! Today we are looking at the river.
Why are you whispering?
I don't know. Because you have to say the river.
Oh, okay.
This is by Days of Wonder 2 to
4.
2 to 4. This is a worker placement.
Mm.
And tiling.
And tiling, yeah,
And
yeah.
tiling.
Yeah, and exploration,
And it's
apparently.
very cute.
Yeah, this is a really nice sort of, it's almost kind of entry
You can
level.
kind of tell it's cute.
Very, very pastoral, yeah. It's a kind of entry-level worker placement game. A lot of people have said, because this is fairly recent, 2017, something like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a lot of people have said it's quite a simple game for Days of Wonder to release at this point in their kind of stock, catalogue of games. But I think, I guess they want to encourage new players and stuff. So, but it's not that simple that you wouldn't want to play it. But so let's explain how it goes. So the idea is that you've got your home board each, which is a river with some tile spaces available, and you're trying to build upon this windy river, little settlement basically, and it's the tiles are available in a kind of drafting section on the main board. And on the main board are worker placement spots for building a building or collecting resources and stone, brick, wood, food, which is a nice little turkey meeples.
I won't do the noise.
No, don't.
No.
And,
What? That's an injured turkey.
and so you basically have a little ship, a little boat that you've got 4 meeples on, and you take it in turns to place your worker as per normal, and then grab a resource, and you store the resources in barns that are on your board. So your board starts with kind of one of each resource showing. It's not actually. It's a little bit kind of confusing when you look at it. You think, well, is that available or is that not?
Yeah.
What you can see on your board, whether it's as a tile or as an illustration on the actual board, that is what is available to you to use. So there's a picture, for instance, on the board of a brick and a wood and a stone. So you can gather those
Get
resources.
at least one of each of them.
And there's also pictures on the board of barns, and you have to have barns to store those resources. You don't store them on the actual image of the
item itself. Yeah.
You store them in a barn.
Yeah.
So
I do fall down there. I automatically put them.
You kind of
want
to put it on the picture. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's say, for instance, you place a worker on the stone place, so you can grab a stone. You can grab as many stones as you can see on your board, and as the game goes by, and you collect tiles and you build up your tiles, you might have more pictures of stone showing.
Tiles,
so you might have 4 or 5, in which case you could then take 4 or 5 stone onto your board if you've got room in barns, so you can store one item in each barn.
We'll put a picture in so it makes more sense.
Yeah. So that's the idea, is that you place a worker and take as many goods as you've got images of showing, and then store them in the barns, and then at some point you can trade those in to build a building, which you grab out. There's sort of a slot here of
on cards,
3 cards that are available. There's a stack that you replenish them from, and they've got a cost, say 2 wood, 2 stone, and then a victory point value.
Which is the aim of the game.
Get victory points indeed. So you would then eventually, when you've got enough resources, you pay that back into the supply, and you take that card and you turn it over and slide it in under your right hand side of your board where your little laurel victory point section is, and you hide the section with the victory points of the card so that the opponents don't know what you're kind of gathering up points wise. And then you also take, if you're the first, when you slide down there, you take the first tile of victory point laurels, so they're stacked. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is on the top. The first one to build a building on, so you take 6 and put that face down as well. So you've got points on your card for your building and the points on the laurels that you've taken. And then the next person would get the next tile down and so on. And you just build those as you get the resources to do so. And also so one of the actions is you can put your worker to take a tile, and the tile just expands your settlement. And there are also victory points there, in as much as some of the tiles themselves have kind of victory points on them, but also if you get a column of similar terrain types, so there's kind of meadow and mountain and forest and plain, I think, like desert plain. So if you get a row of 3 of those in your kind of windy river, if you get a column of 3 of those, that's 6 victory points there for having the same terrain type. If you get 2, you get 2 victory points. So you're trying to kind of populate your board in similar terrain types in columns.
To aid that though, you've also got, you can put your worker placement on a swap tile section where like, I've got 2 forests there and 2 desert there, and I think if I get my worker placement on the swap, I can get the 2 rows
so that's
of 3.
another of the worker placement spots. So basically the spots are grab a tile and place that, build a building,
swap tile,
swap a tile, take first player,
take one of the resources.
Take one of the resources, any of those. You can also take food, which are the little turkey ones. Again, you have to store them in a barn, but they count as a wild resource as well. So if you needed 3 wood and you only had 2, you could trade a turkey in as a wood. And then the last resource, the last worker placement spot is you can actually reserve one of the buildings that you want if you think the other person's kind of starting to get close to
take it, but don't build it just yet.
So you put a man on there. It's a bit of a waste of a man, obviously. That's the whole point. But you turn it then face down. You're allowed to have 2 of those in your hand at any time. And when you get to build, when you get to build it, you build it for 1 less resource as well, don't you? So it's worth doing, even though it feels like a bit of a waste because it's there to be taken as a full build. But you get it.
And also, if you're missing a resource and you haven't got enough warehouses to get any more resources,
that's true.
That helps you there.
So it's that's pretty much it. And you just basically build your tiles out and all the way down the river. And there's certain points where if you place a tile at a certain point, you have to leave a worker there. As he's settled down. He's settled down. So you lose a worker, but then also when you build your buildings down the side and on the laurels, the second one down is another worker, so you kind of get him. So, or her.
I think it's meant to say like some people leave, some people come. Arrive,
so it's your settlement. So it's just coming and going. Really nice kind of mechanics.
Yeah, it looks really nice as well.
Yeah,
with the
it's
river.
Very simple. Yeah. And basically it ends when you either get to the last tile or one of you has built all of your buildings and you've collected all in a 2-player game, all 4 laurels. In a 4-player game or a 5-player game, I think it's 5 or 6 laurels.
I like how all the tiles have the river on it, so like it all matches up really
it all does sit in together. Yeah, so it's a double-sided board. Your board is a double-sided board, and I think actually the worker placement one is. Yeah, it is. So you've got different amounts of slots, because some of the slots are just one worker there, so you block each other. For instance, most of the resources, if you went for stone, the other person can't go for stone. Whereas the build a building, that's as many workers as can fit there, as many as you like, and as many as you've got resources. But most of them are just one worker.
First one grabs it.
So as a 2-player game, even it's quite kind of blocky, take-batty in that respect. If it's a 4-player game, I guess there's probably, like I say, on the double-sided boards, it might be 2 slots there. But it might be a little bit more kind of antagonistic. But it is very pastoral. It's very nice, very sweet. Let's talk about the production, because obviously Days of Wonder looks fab, doesn't it? On the table.
It does, really nice.
Really pretty illustrations on the cards and on the tiles. And as you say, the rivers are on the tiles and they match in, and it all sits together really well. It's a lovely production, very nice.
I really like the worker placement. I'm becoming a big fan of worker placement games.
I mean, and it's
just, you get a bit more freedom to do. You haven't got to do that every time.
It's not any lesser worker placement because it's simple, is it? It's still a challenge. It's still figuring out what you're doing.
Yeah, you've still got to take that in there. You've still got to get those tiles before you do, because I can see you're building up a nice long line of desert there, so I bet I could take the desert one so you don't get it.
So you don't get the extra points. There's a lot to kind of keep your eye on if you want to play. It's one of those games that you could kind of be quite strategic with it if you're looking at other people's builds and stuff and what they're collecting resource wise and stuff. We played it fairly genteelly, very nice, because that's the word, genteelly.
That word?
Genteelly lace. No, so I'm just making words up now. But it's got that kind of feel to it. It's like it is very pastoral, so we played it in that way. But it's quite a good game. But the point is that it's fairly light, it's fairly easy to teach, and it's 30 to 40 minutes as a 2-player at least.
It's light, but it keeps you entertained.
Yeah, so maybe a good entry level or a filler worker placement game.
How long is it? Half an hour?
30 to 40 minutes. It says it says that. I guess it's the same for 2 or 4 players, don't it? But anyway, let's see what we think about this as a game then. So I like it quite a lot. I mean, it's been on our shelf for a little while, and as I say, it was kind of a weird thing. I mean, people have been sort of saying, "Oh, it's a bit too easy, a bit bland." It's not at all, really.
No.
But that's why you kind of, oh well, maybe we won't get to play it just yet. Then we'll play it when we're really stuck for something to review or something. But we just wanted to give it a go, and I'm glad we did, because it's not as
I don't think it's bland.
not as lame as some people point out. So I would say, if you're
but
thinking about it,
in a way, if it's bland to the hardcore gamers, then it's more.
Then it's good entry level
for people like me who aren't hardcore gamers.
Well,
then it's better for us to play.
Yeah, for us it was a really nice game to play.
Entertained me perfectly well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like it a lot. I think. I will score this. We haven't discussed the scores again. We keep doing this. We keep coming to reviews, and we don't discuss the scores beforehand. So we're doing live reactionary
live scores.
Live scoring.
Okay, let me think.
So the point is, we haven't kind of said, oh well, wherever it is, I'm trying to look for Lords of Waterdeep. That's a worker placement in a similar vein, similar sort of level almost. I haven't thought, I gave that X, so I'm going to give this Y.
Bland.
No, but I'm saying I haven't thought about the sort of
comparison scores.
Yeah, score-wise, so apologies about that, but I'm just giving my kind of heartfelt feelings about it. I would say this is a nice 7.
7?
Yeah, I would say it's a nice 7. I'd score it higher if it was a little bit more complicated or a little bit longer, maybe. But for what it is, and I think they're not trying to pretend it's a complex and long game. They've given it over as a nice entry level game. So from that point of view, 7, nice.
I'm also going to give it 7.
Okay.
And that's a good score for me because I like it being a bit more genteel and not too stressful and not too hardcore. So that's good for me. Yeah,
so 14 out of 20 for us. I mean, again, like I said, I don't know how that compares to, say, Lords of Waterdeep.
You probably scored it higher than this one because you are more of a fan of the more in-depth ones.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to have a look after. But it'd be interesting to know how that scored, or say Pan Am or Crown of Amara or something like that. I just that's my heartfelt feelings. That 7 is about right for this one.
I probably scored Pan Am higher because I like the theme and Pan Am. I'm more like a real life.
I kind of like the theme of this though. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it, but it's a real life.
No, no. I'm just saying I kind of quite like this.
And it looks so pretty.
It really is very pretty.
Got my pretty face.
So there we are. So if you're thinking about checking out the river, then give it a go.
And if you're like me, you're a bit less hardcore gamer. This is complicated enough for you.
Yeah.
But it's also very nice to play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice little game to play for sure, especially as a couple. So, recommend this one, 14 out of 20.
Let us know if you agree.
Yeah, and please give us a thumbs up on the videos because they help the algorithms, apparently. So basically, it's something to do with the way that YouTube pushes videos to other people as recommendations if you get likes. So likes and subscribes are really good for us. So thank you. And it's nice to know that we're doing something that you enjoy. So... So please do check this one out, and we'll see you on our next review. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.